Hey, what's up, YouTube? This is EV Comics, and I had an excellent night of Yu-Gi-Oh! Yesterday. I won 4 of my 6 duels. I got completely destroyed my second round, but the first and third rounds, wiped the floor with them. You should have seen it. It was great. I don't play a whole lot of meta decks, so I don't usually do that well. So winning 2 out of 3 rounds of a tournament, pretty good for me. Pretty good for me. Anyways, that's not important. What's important here is comic books and campaigns and such. So I want to talk about my first campaign. I want to talk about some problems I had, how I'm going to address those in the future for my next campaign, and then things that I feel like I did pretty good for my first campaign. So let's go ahead and go through these and address why what problems I had and why the campaign was so small. Now I've talked multiple times about how I wanted my first campaign to be small, to be something that was easy to manage, because I did not want my first campaign to leave a bad taste in people's mouths, where people were not getting their stuff and stuff was getting mixed up or whatever. I didn't want to do that. I wanted it to be a very simple, easy to manage, small campaign. And there's several reasons why that is. One of the reason is it's a new site. You know, people were kind of sketchy about it. Two, it's a new site created by the Wheelers. People were kind of sketchy about them. And the uh, options as far as backing, as far as what you could choose for how you back the campaign, there was not a lot of options. And this was a critique that Mike gave me, and I took that to heart, because I realized that, yeah, you know, there's not really much options here other than, you know, having a bundle where you can get all 3 of them, right? And that was partially on purpose, because I wanted to, again, keep it very simple and not have a whole lot of moving pieces to it, so it could be easy for me to manage on my first time doing this. But I definitely could have done something like t-shirts. You know, I've got 2 Little Miss Steel t-shirts that I made for myself, just to wear at events and kind of advertise wherever I walk, right? It's got the logo on the back. It's got the graphics on the front. So I basically just turned myself into a walking advertisement. I ordered 2 just in case something happened to the first one. But I could definitely do that for the future. But for this campaign, again, I wanted it to be simple. So that could be another reason why this didn't work. The other reason is obviously, like, you know, some people might not jive with the art style. That's fine. If you don't like the cartoony art style, that's up to you. You had the perfect right to have whatever kind of taste you have. You know, art is subjective. Very, very often it's subjective, and it's up to people whether they like something or not. You know, I'm not a big fan of the Snyderverse. I like some of the movies of the Snyderverse. I like some of the stuff that's happened in the DCU. I won't say everything is perfect. Everything is great so far in the new DCU, but I like the new Superman movie more than I like Man of Steel. Now, someone else can have, you know, Zever, Ryan Dubé loves Man of Steel, and hates the new Superman movie. And we have creative differences on that, but we can still get along, because at the end of the day, that's art. Anyways, another reason, probably the biggest reason why this campaign was so small, is because this comic is free. You can actually read it right now on Global Comics for free. And you could read it for free while the campaign was going out. So, one of the main reasons I even did this campaign in the first place was because people in the chat, when I was on FFS for the first time way back, I think it was last year at this point. It's almost been a full year, I think. But way back then, I was on their stream, and some people were saying, hey, I would like to have a copy of this guy's comic. So I decided to look into the options, and I'm sure some of those people didn't back it because of the reasons I just mentioned, because it was on a new site from people that maybe they don't like, and maybe there wasn't enough options on the campaign, and maybe just because the comic was free, they're like, maybe I don't want to pay for this. So totally fine, right? Totally fine. And to address the art again, this art is largely from 2023. I went back and updated a few things to make it look a little bit nicer in some areas where it was really bad. The bus, for example, I've talked about the bus before. But I addressed a few things with the art, but the art is still mostly from 2023. That art is now 3 years old. So I have improved a lot since then. The art looks much better now, and I'm always trying to get better. And that's the whole thing about being an artist and a writer, is that you're always trying to get better. So I I can totally understand if people look at that art and say, maybe not worth the money. Maybe they see the art now, they say, hey, this guy's improved. Maybe next campaign, I'll buy it, especially if it's on a different website. So ways to avoid these problems in the future. And I've just got all of this listed out for me to read from because I was brainstorming this on a car ride home and thought about making this video. So ways to avoid it. More options. T-shirts, stickers, possibly keychains if I can get that worked out with the guy, and 3 covers to choose from. Of course, I'm still going to do the 3 covers option. I think that's probably the best way to go. I think 3 is a pretty solid number. It just gives people a pretty good range of stuff to choose from. I would like to get someone else to do a cover, but if I have to do all 3, I can do all 3. I'm totally fine with doing that. The other thing about it is have the ability to get these items like separately. I think I can put up just a t-shirt or just a sticker or just a keychain and stuff like that, and have those be options if you don't want the comic, if you just want the merchandise. Because I think Lock In, which is going to be the next campaign, just the logo Lock In will probably be a fun little t-shirt for people to have, even if they don't want the comic, even if they don't care about it. People who are fans of cryptids are going to, I think, like this shirt. I think they're going to like the idea of it, and they might just want that. So I could go with that, right? So that's more options. That's how I'm going to do it. I'm going to have more bundles with different merchandise and stuff like that. And it's going to be more work on my end, but that's totally fine, because as long as I give people more options, I'm giving people what they want, that's more people that are going to be willing to back the campaign, right? Second thing is I will be using Kickstarter and Fund My Comic. Possibly, if I, by some miracle, get into Back Me Bro, I can use that. So definitely Kickstarter, definitely Fund My Comic, but that's a third option potentially for the future. I can't even guarantee that. It's very unlikely, but if possible, I'll do that as well. They're more trusted sites, well, at least for Kickstarter and Fund My Comic. They've been around for a little bit longer. People like them for the most part. Kickstarter seems to be the most positively held in the Comicsgate community as far as like the more mainstream crowdfunding stuff. Indiegogo's lost a lot of favor with some of their updates, so Kickstarter seems to be the way to go, and I haven't had any issues with it whenever backing other campaigns, so I think it'll be fine. They're more trustworthy, so don't have people that are going to be sketchy about new sites, except for maybe Back Me Bro if I'm able to use it. The third thing, no wheelers. The fourth thing, less bugs, in theory. I can't guarantee it. Bugs can just happen. I can just be very unlucky and just get another bug campaign. I can't promise that. I can't do it. But because these sites have been around a little bit longer, maybe that's less likely to happen. It's just, that at the end of the day, that's something I can't really control. One thing I can control is to be more persistent in emails. Now, I sent out multiple messages and emails to try and get the shipping address of all of my backers. And while most people answered them, 2 of them didn't. And while I don't necessarily think I was wrong to not continuously email, like relentlessly forever, I think I could, if I want to avoid something like this happening again, where people get sent to spam and people don't receive messages because of bugs and stuff like that. If I want to avoid that in the future, it would be in my best interest to just consistently send out an email like every 2 weeks, right? Every 2 weeks, try to send an email. And if they haven't responded after like 2 months of that, then probably bring it back down to like once a month, sending an email saying, hey, I still don't have your shipping address. But I honestly, I don't think that'll happen again. I think that's just a product of the site. No shade to the site. It's new. I understand that it's going to be buggy with some things. I understood that going into it. People have said that I'm trashing the site. I'm really not trying to trash the site. I've I have given them the benefit of the doubt from the very start. of this, and I really have no issues with the site itself. I understood that there was going to be little bugs like that. I understood that was going to happen. So I throw no shade for that in the situation, but yeah, hopefully that will not happen with Kickstarter or Fund My Comic. And then number 5, Lock-In will not be free. Unlike Little Miss Steel, which is going to be a free series forever, Little Miss Steel, the main series, maybe spin-offs will be paid, but the main series will always be free. And because of that, that's why a lot of people didn't buy the comic, is because it's free. This is not going to be. This is going to be either you back the campaign and pay for it physically, or after the campaign is done, it will go up on Ko-Fi. If you want to get digital copies, I will offer that as well, PDFs for the digital copies. And then a digital release on Global Comics as well. All of the re-release stuff, like through Global Comics or through my Ko-Fi page, shop page, will be done after the campaign is fulfilled, and with the exception of maybe if there's one guy who hasn't received it for whatever reason. Maybe I'm having a similar situation. I hope not. In the event that is happening and 99% of people have their campaigns fulfilled, then I'll go ahead and go through with the Ko-Fi and Global Comics release. But everyone who will back the campaign will be getting the story first, as long as I can help it. I will do everything I can to get the comics in your hands before I go live anywhere else with Lock-In number 1. And I guess that's basically how I want to address everything. I've already talked about improving my art. I've talked about improving the options, choosing different sides, and hopefully not having the bugs, but being more persistent in my emails for the future, just to make double sure I avoid this. And the fact that the comic will be more in demand because it will not be free. Now, problems I feel like I didn't have with the first campaign. Transparency. I gave multiple weekly or bi-weekly updates on YouTube, whether that was, or Twitter, whether that was from just basic posts, YouTube videos, streams on my channel, or streams on Indie Comics Empire. I was constantly talking about the process, whether that was ordering the comics, ordering the packaging, getting everything packaged, shipping them out, and all of that. Basically, throughout the entire process, I was talking about stuff, and I was even, besides just doing messages and emails to remind people to send me their shipping addresses, I was saying it in my videos and streams, and I even said it on FFS's stream whenever I came on to talk about my thoughts on Comicsgate whenever I was having that crash out moment, right? But basically, that's that. I feel like transparency was pretty good. However, the differences with Lock-In is that this will be my first case where the comic I'm crowdfunding is actually not complete. So I'm going to have to give updates on art. But that's pretty easy because I'm pretty frequently putting out updates on art, whether that be for Lock-In or Little Miss Steel. Every now and then I go through like an art block phase, but for the most part I have stuff like pretty regularly that I will share, whether it's to Ko-Fi, Twitter, YouTube, or someone else's YouTube channel like Indie Comics Empire. And speaking of that channel, I mean, I'm going to be streaming there most Sundays anyway, and showing you my art progress, whatever pages I'm working on, whatever panels I'm working on, unless we do like a special fan art stream that we used to do a lot more often. You're going to see me drawing and posting drawings all over the place. So I can promise definitely at least bi-weekly updates, but you'll probably see more often. You'll probably just see whenever I get stuff done, I like to post it just to be a little advertisement, a little thing to keep people interested in it, and to show off progress, and also get some criticism if you guys got any ideas for how I can improve something. So I'm always asking for inspiration as well. Like I got this car chase scene in Little Miss Steel 8, so I had someone recommend the Fast and Furious movies, the James Bond movies, which I do need to go back and rewatch. It's been a while since I watched them anyway, so I think I'm going to do that. Starting with Casino Royale. I love that movie. Anyways, the only thing is about the Indie Comics Empire. We did go on like a hiatus for like 2 months because me and One Gun were crashing out at the same time, and uh, about the time that he came back is kind of whenever I came back, I guess, with the streams, that is. So I don't know. I guess we were synchronized crash outs, I suppose, is what we were having. But we're done with that now. Hopefully, the stream will continue without any kind of hiatuses or anything. Hopefully, we'll keep doing it. But I don't know. We'll see. I can't guarantee that, but I can guarantee you'll keep getting art updates from me. But other things that I feel like I did pretty well. Laugh all you want, but fulfillment. I feel like I did fulfillment pretty well. Again, there was only 5 comics, but or 5 orders. Excuse me. There was multiple comics. There was orders that had multiple. The 3 bundle deal, right? So I had 5 orders to fulfill, and I fulfilled all of them. Now, can I help the fact that 2 of them didn't send me the shipping addresses? No, not really. I did everything I could. I sent messages. I sent emails. I mentioned it in streams, and I still didn't get a response from people. I can't help that. I can take a horse to water, but I can't make him drink. And at some point, it stops being my fault, and I've done all I can. But I've already talked about how I can try to avoid that in the future. Just be more persistent in emails. Just be like a used car salesman, or like someone trying to talk about your vehicle's extended warranty on the phone all the time. Hey, Angela, I know you're busy, but can we talk about today's political climate? That kind of thing. So I can maybe try and do that for the future. But fulfillment, I feel like I've done everything pretty well. I got all the packaging and all that stuff. I handled all that myself. I had things fairly organized. Again, I was transparent about things, and for my first campaign, I feel like it went pretty all right. There was that little dramatic issue that didn't need to be a dramatic issue, but it ended up being that. And if that was the biggest problem I had with the campaign, it's really not that bad in comparison to a lot of stuff. Now, I've already talked about how I have plans to avoid that happening in the future, but I can't promise that everything's going to go perfectly smooth. There's always going to be something that just happens, right? Some stuff just happens, and there's only so much you can do to prepare, but I am prepared to try and do better for the next campaign. And now the third thing, promotion. I feel like I had pretty decent promotion going into it and during the campaign. Special thanks to Katie Did, FFS, One Gun, Vaughn, Andrew Rowland, and so many others. Even I'll even say it, the Wheelers. Even the Wheelers were having me on stream and letting me promote and stuff like that. And I appreciate all you guys. Even if I wasn't on stream, if you were sharing my stuff, if you were on my streams, if you were just in the chat talking about how you like the art and stuff like that, and how you want the campaign. I know some people were talking in chat like they want to back it, but they can't because they don't want to use the website. So I totally get it. But thank you guys so much for that. Appreciate it. Really enjoyed the process of it. I think it was a very good learning experience, as I said multiple times before. And I hope that after watching this video, you've seen how I've laid out my plans to do even better in the future. For my next campaign, I want it to be larger. I want it to be something that's actually super successful. And I want it to, be a first of many. I want it to be a first of many for Lock-In, for the Lock-In series, to keep it going like that, and see where it goes from there. Maybe I can. The dream, the wild dream, is to pitch this as a successful campaign, to pitch it to animation studios, to get it turned into a cartoon, because that would be awesome, wouldn't it? Wouldn't it be awesome? Anyways, but that's the whole kind of I guess wild dream that I have. If not, I'll keep making it as a comic as long as people are funding it. And look, if it doesn't fund at the very first one, totally fine. I can just turn it into a book, and I can put it out much faster that way than putting it out alongside Little Miss Steel. But I can do both, and if I have to make it into a novel, I can dial up Doc Blaylock and ask for tips on writing novels, because I haven't really done a lot of novel writing. I've done quite a bit of comics at this point, but haven't done a lot of novel work. So I'd be interested to learn more about that if it ends up going that route. But with all that being said, thanks so much for watching. Thanks for sticking around and watching the updates and everything. Hope you guys are excited for Lock In. And more to come on that. I want to do some more art streams drawing for that, and I've gotten to the point where I've drawn the environments, the characters. Now I kind of want to move on to drawing a few more covers, and to go from there and see what I can do, what else I really need to do to sell you the idea of this series being awesome, which it is. It is a really fun idea and has a lot of stuff that I'm excited to show you guys, but it will take a while to get there. But there's a lot of fun plot stuff that I've got written up already for it. So thanks so much for watching. Till next time, peace out.